Kanye West has officially reclaimed his industry throne. After dropping a new album and selling out a US stadium for the first time in years, he has transformed from an industry outcast back into its most powerful figure. But this comeback was not a coincidence. If you look closely at his latest music video and the symbols displayed at SoFi Stadium, you will see that this return came with a specific cause. The question is not just how he got back on top, but what he had to become to get there. Is Kanye still the only artist who can't be controlled? Or has he finally accepted his role as a high-level industry vessel? Today, we are decoding the layers of his latest performance to uncover the reality behind the new Kanye West. Just last year, Kanye West was arguably the most blacklisted individual in the entire entertainment world. He was the industry's #1 enemy. We saw a total collapse of his business empire as major global sponsors dropped him, his longtime record labels cut ties, and he was effectively banned from performing in every major US venue. It seemed like the bridges weren't just burned, they were completely demolished. But almost overnight, that narrative began to shift. The catalyst for this sudden transformation was his alignment with the powerful new distribution and media company Gamma. Shortly after this deal was finalized, Kanye embarked on a massive, calculated PR apology campaign. This move was clearly the key that unlocked the door that had been slammed shut for years. The results were undeniable. Not only was he able to release a new album that immediately dominated the streaming charts, but he just successfully sold out SoFi Stadium in California. This performance marked Ye's official re-entry into the highest levels of the industry. It proved that even after challenging the very foundation of the media business, he was able to find a way back to the center of the stage. But when you consider everything Kanye has said and done over the last few years, this sudden acceptance is highly suspicious. Why would the industry powers be so willing to embrace him again after he spent years trying to expose and tear their system down? If you have been paying close attention to the visual language he's using now, the answer becomes easy to uncover. Remember, Kanye's entire platform was built on the idea that he was a rebel who could not be controlled.
Control, you get what I'm saying? They control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control LeBron James, they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name.
He claimed the industry was ideologically opposed to his mission and his people. He positioned himself as the one man who would never bow to the pressures of the corporate machine. Yet, here he is, standing back in the spotlight, supported by the exact same corporate and media structures he once labeled as manipulative and corrupt. This tells us that the war might be over, but not in the way his fans think. It suggests that Kanye may have finally fallen back into place, transitioning from an independent force to a strategic vessel for the industry's broader agenda. He is no longer fighting the machine. He has become a part of his latest iteration. We see the most undeniable symbolic proof of this contractual surrender in the specific imagery and symbolic themes found in his latest music video for Father. To understand what is actually happening in the Father music video, we have to look past the surface. For most people, it just looks like a collection of weird random images. But in the world of high-level media, nothing is random. Everything is a symbol used to tell a specific story. The entire video takes place inside a cold, empty church. Usually, a church represents a place of peace and tradition. But in this video, Kanye is showing us that the old world is being dismantled to make way for something new. Early on, we see a nun being arrested while a knight in armor stands by. For a normal viewer, this looks like a movie scene. But symbolically, the nun represents the old way of believing in God. By having her hauled away by the police, the video is telling us that the old rules no longer apply in Kanye's world. The knight represents the power and force. It's a message that the industry is forcibly clearing out the old guard to make room for a new kind of faith centered around celebrity. The most talked about part of the video is when the astronauts pull off Kanye's mask to reveal a gray alien. To understand this, you need to know a little about a belief called Gnosticism. Gnosticism is basically the idea that our human bodies are just suits or containers for a divine spirit that comes from the stars. In the video, Kanye is showing us that the Kanye West we see on TV is just a mask. Underneath, he is claiming to be a starseed, a being from another place who is just visiting Earth. The simplified meaning of this? He's telling us he doesn't belong to the human world anymore. He has ascended to a different level where he is no longer a man, but a vessel for a higher power. Notice that Kanye doesn't take off his own mask. 2 astronauts do it for him, and then they drag him away. In the industry, astronauts or spacemen often represent the high-level handlers, the people behind the scenes who control the technology, the money, and the image of the stars. By having them unmask him, the video is showing that Kanye isn't even in charge of his own secret. The handlers are the ones who decide when his true form is revealed and when he is removed from the stage. While Kanye is being dragged out, Travis Scott walks in. He undergoes a wedding with 2 women at the same time. This is what occultists call a chemical wedding. This is a direct reference to this image here. Travis is showing himself following the same path as Kanye, using it to ascend. The very last shot is a man carrying a massive wooden cross, sitting down exactly where Kanye was. This is the most important lesson of the video. The seat is never empty. The industry is a machine. It takes a vessel, like Kanye, uses them until they are exhausted or unmasked, and then immediately brings in a new person to carry the weight. It's a never-ending cycle of sacrifice. In the background, there is a man who looks exactly like Michael Jackson. Why would he be there? Michael Jackson was the ultimate example of a star who was consumed by the industry. Having a Michael Jackson look-alike watching the scene is like a hidden warning. It suggests that the cycle of using and discarding famous people is still happening. Michael was the vessel of the 80s and the 90s, and now Kanye is the vessel for modern times. To understand the Father music video through the lens of the occult, we have to view it not as a story, but as a high-level initiation ceremony. In the world of esoteric traditions, art is often used as a sigil, a visual tool designed to manifest a specific change in reality. This video is Kanye's way of announcing his transition from a rebel to a permanent institutional archetype. The video begins in a stark, minimalist church, which in alchemy represents the Athaner, or the furnace, where the old self is burned away to create gold. The arrest of the nun is a symbolic act of desacralization. By having a knight, a symbol of the will and militant power overseeing this arrest, Kanye is signaling that the era of passive traditional worship is over. He is clearing the temple to make room for a new, darker doctrine. The most profound occult moment is the unmasking of the alien by 2 astronauts. In Gnostic philosophy, the material world is a prison created by a lesser god, and our human bodies are merely flesh shoots hiding a divine spark. The alien form represents the pneuma, or the spirit from the stars. By revealing this form, Kanye is claiming apotheosis, the transformation of a man into God. The astronauts act as the archons, the cosmic gatekeepers who control the flow of information between the heavens and the earth. They are the handlers who manage the transition. They don't just unmask him, they harvest him, dragging the divine spark away from the church and back into the void. While Kanye is being harvested, we see Travis Scott engaging in the Hieros Gamos, or a sacred marriage. However, this is a subverted version of the ritual. By standing between 2 brides, Travis represents the union of dualities, the merging of the masculine and feminine into a single compliant entity. In the occult, this union is required to stabilize the energy of a ritual. While Kanye represents the chaos of the transition, Travis represents the order of the new system. The final scene, where a man carries a massive wooden cross and takes Kanye's seat, is the ultimate reveal of the industry's occult structure. This mirrors the solar cycle of death and rebirth. The old sun, Kanye, has set or been abducted, and a new sun must rise to take the burden. In occultism, the egregore is a collective thought form fueled by the energy of a group. The celebrity is the physical vessel for this energy. The industry requires a constant pharmakos, or a scapegoat, to carry the weight of the public sins and desires. The message of the video is clear. The individual artist is irrelevant. Whether it is a man, an alien, or a knight, the seat of power must remain occupied. Kanye has completed his great work by surrendering his human identity to become a permanent, faceless icon in this eternal industrial ritual. While the Father music video gave us the blueprint, Kanye's performance at SoFi Stadium was the actual activation of that ritual in the physical world. To the average fan, it was a high-energy concert with some technical glitches. But to those who understand the language of symbols, this was a massive high-level ceremony designed to finalize his new role in the industry. That stadium was a modern temple. In ancient times, rituals weren't held in private. They were held in massive theaters to harness the collective energy of the crowd. By choosing SoFi Stadium, one of the most technologically advanced structures in the world, Kanye transformed a sports arena into a locus sanctus, or a sacred space. When you have 70,000 people focusing their attention on one central figure, that creates a massive energy field. In the occult, this is called an egregore, a collective thought form fueled by the audience. Kanye wasn't just performing songs, he was directing the focus of a mass initiation. We see that in the aesthetic of The Void. The entire stage was covered in a thick, monochromatic fog, and the lighting was kept strictly industrial. This is the prima materia. In alchemy, this represents the void, or the first matter. Before you can create something new, you have to return everything to zero. By performing in a literal cloud of gray fog, Kanye was visually telling the audience that the old Kanye has been dissolved. He was performing from within the void, signaling that he is now a blank canvas, a perfect vessel for whatever the industry wants to project onto him. Once again, Kanye remained faceless. In esoteric traditions, the face is the seat of the ego. By removing his face, he ceases to be a human individual and becomes an archetype. He isn't a rapper named Ye anymore. He is a symbol of the artist who has been consumed by the work. During the performance, there were several moments where songs like On Sight and Power were intentionally stopped and restarted. Many fans thought these were technical errors, but from a psychological standpoint, this is a tactic called frequency recalibration. By consistently breaking the rhythm, the performer keeps the audience in a state of hyper-awareness. It forces the crowd to disconnect from their expectations and submit to the director of the event. It's a way of proving who is in total control of the environment. One of the most significant parts of the night was the appearance of Northwest alongside Travis Scott. In high-level occultism, power is often viewed as a mantle that must be passed down. By bringing his daughter onto the stage in this specific industrial setting, Kanye is signaling the continuation of the bloodline. He is showing the world that the legacy is already being prepared for the next generation. This mirrors the ancient myth of the father, Osiris, passing his kingdom to the son, Horus. It's a message that the industry isn't just about one person. It's about an eternal cycle of icons that never truly ends. The SoFi performance was the public baptism of the new Kanye West. He went from being an outcast hiding in the shadows to a faceless false god standing in the center of a stadium. And just look at the performance. You can clearly feel the dark, eerie energy coming off of it. In this specific moment, everything is pure red, flashing lights, showing the same imagery we've seen from many of these performers that many deem dark and demonic. Kanye didn't return as a rebel. He returned as a conductor. By the end of the night, the message was clear. Kanye has accepted his position within the industry. He has traded his individual voice for a permanent seat in the corporate temple. He is no longer the man fighting the machine. He is the face, or rather, the mask of the machine itself. The new Kanye isn't a man fighting for his voice. He is a high-level conductor for an industry that has moved past traditional artistry and onto the realm of mass psychological influence. By aligning with powerful distribution networks and utilizing ancient symbolic language, he has ensured his legacy will live on, but at the cost of the very independence he once claimed to protect. As we look toward the future of the bully era, we have to ask ourselves, is Kanye still the architect of this vision? Or has he become the ultimate tool for the industry's new agenda? The symbols are there for anyone with eyes to see. The knight has entered the church, the alien has been unmasked, and the next bearer of the cross is already waiting in the wings. Kanye West didn't just make a comeback, he completed a transformation. He is no longer the industry's enemy. He is the most sophisticated vessel. The evidence is clear, but the final interpretation belongs to you. Has Kanye truly returned to power, or has he simply found a new way to play a very old game? What's truly sad is that even after Kanye spent years calling the industry corrupt, he then pushed his daughter into that very same industry. Kanye wasn't the only person to sign with Gamma. He also got North to deal with them too, thrusting her into the same chains he tried to escape from. If you want to know what Kanye's price for his comeback was, make sure to watch this video right now. Also, if you're interested in videos that go a step further in revealing the truth without the fear of censorship, consider checking out my Patreon. I just released a new video where I reveal my thoughts on the situations happening around the world right now. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to miss this episode. You can find my Patreon in the description. And if you want to support unfiltered content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to join the truth movement. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.